I can remember when I was a kid, as soon as I got off that bus from school, I ran up to my room, I did my homework as fast as I could, and I ran sprinting out the front door, screen crashing behind me, and I get out and do as much playtime as I could before it got dark out. Sock wars, hiding behind the couch, throwing outdoors, we'd play couch baseball, and my favorite, American Gladiators. My friends and I would make up these games, and we'd mimic other games that we saw on television and just use the materials we had at hand. Like I'm sure many of you have done, bringing your Barbie to life or your action figure, we all use imaginative play. Have you ever noticed that kids nowadays are being robbed of their imagination? Media, television, video games, they're hijacking our children from what, they love to do most, play. It's been documented by the APA, American Psychological Association, that imaginative play is a huge positive to a child's cognitive growth. And we're going to look at three of the main areas that impact the child's growth and how media and technology impacts it. The three areas are education, it would be self-image, and also sociability with other kids. I got a clip I'm going to show you that I believe parallels this topic on two levels. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's pretty, it'll be pretty funny. So as you can see, on two levels, our kids are watching this, and it's pretty graphic, and two, you can see how all the characters that we grew up with, that we know and love, are kind of, being lost in our imagination nowadays. And so we're going to go to the first point of education. Education, the kids of tomorrow, they're going to be our leaders, and they want to grow up to young, intelligent adults. But what's the motivation to learn nowadays? I mean, if I was like, little Dante, what's the capital of Nepal? I don't know. Hold on one second. Kathmandu. In about 2 seconds, you can find anything. And I think that's where our kids are losing a lot of nowadays the education. There's a study done by Jacqueline Woolley, who's a professor at University of Austin, or University of Texas at Austin, and she did a study on what kids find real and what's not real. And she asked a bunch of kids if they thought Santa Claus was real at 3 years old, and about 70% of them said that they thought Santa was real. And they asked if they thought the garbage man was real, and about 78% said that they thought the garbage man was real. They asked 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds the same question, and they found that all the kids at 9 years old knew the garbage man was real, but 86% thought that Santa was real. It increased. So kids know the difference between what's real and not real, but what is the finding of the study? Kids are easily misled. So if kids are easily misled, just think of that, you translate that to everything they're seeing on television nowadays. It's cool to be, the bad guy. It's awesome. It's not cool to be a geek. So these kids are, really absorbing a lot of this information, and they're taking it into the classroom, and they're not learning what it means to be a student. The second article that I wanted to go over was the sociability of kids. Kids need to learn through play and imaginative play on how to, play with friends, how to learn about the world around them. But nowadays, it seems like all these kids are in front of the TV and they're in front of video games and they're learning about violence. And with this violence, there's a study done by Mary Gavin, who is a child psychologist, and she found that by the age of 18, each kid on average will experience at least 200,000 violent acts when they see on TV or whatever, 200,000. And from the study before, kids are easily impacted by what they see. They're going to act out. And so kids without imaginative play are almost wanting to mimic everything that they see. And so you see the need for kids to want to go out and be social, make friends, and learn how on their own to be good citizens. And the final aspect is self-image. And I think this is one that's really big nowadays. Kids want to know who they are. You know, do you like Batman? Are you want to be a fireman when you get older? You got to find these things out, and you only find it out by going out and doing things on your own, being imaginative. And you see that kids can't really do that when they're playing World of Warcraft, or they're doing the new Xbox game where they're playing live shooter action. You can only be that person. And it's been studied that there's about 4 hours a day on the average kid, and there's watching TV and 2 hours in front of the computer. There's no time for any play with that. And so you see that kids are becoming overly obese. There's a child obesity. They're not getting out and playing. And it's a problem. And finally, Kenneth Ginsburg, who's a doctor, and he's got a master's in education, said that a very important part of a child's identity is their relationship with friends and their parents. And when they're interacting with their friends and parents, you create a bond. Like, Mom, look what I just did. Dad, look what I did. You don't get that when you say, Dad, check out level 23. I killed 542 zombies. You need to create that connection. And as you can see, Albert Einstein once said that imagination can take you anywhere, where knowledge can only take you from A to B. And so the main thing that I'm trying to say is that your kids are growing up fast, and for anyone who wants to have kids or already has kids, it's very important that you encourage them to play, and that you go throughout life and they'll be happy. And we can't let our children's imaginations be bombed and blown to smithereens, as we saw in the video.